words. They don't just communicate thoughts. They reveal the hidden things in our hearts. They don't just communicate ideas. They create worlds. The mouth and the words we say are a creative force that is not only used all the time, but everywhere we go. Our words are the very essence of how the Creator made us. Join us as we discover the essence of man and the power of speech. Hello, welcome to the Essence of Man and Power of Speech. We are on day 143, and this one is called We Think It's Okay. So, what are we talking about? Well, one of the main reasons for Lashon Hora is that we think it's okay. In other words, it's permissible. And if you remember, a few days ago, we were talking about the things that cause Lashon Hora, and we're still on that. We're just kind of breaking these all down. And today I'm going to give you the third condition when rebuke is in order, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But again, one reason we for speaking evil is because we give ourselves permission. One convinces himself that it is not Lashon Hora. I'm not really speaking evil. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to fix something here, and actually causing more trouble. Most people who speak Lashon Hora speak so out of ignorance of the law. Now remember, a couple of days ago we talked about the law and the rule of Lashon Hora. And it doesn't matter if you knew there was a law or rule or not, you're still going to get the effects of it. It's like I mentioned, if you break the law on a land somewhere, they don't care you didn't know the law. They might give you a warning, but you still broke it. Now the thing about it is, the thing about evil speech, Lashon Hora, there is two realms we've got to think about that this rule of law can affect us when it's broken. It's in this world and also in the one to come. But most people are pretty much ignorant. Let's face it. Did you know this much about evil speech till you started listening to these videos? Did you understand? Yeah, you probably knew gospel was sin, but did you really understand how bad it was? How bad slander was, strife was, and all the things that accompany it? And you think about our world today, how crazy it is sometimes, and what's causing some of this craziness is some of the words that are spoken. We are creating worlds with our words, love and hate. We are creating fear and doubt and unbelief with words. We are dividing families. We are dividing nations. We are dividing races. We are dividing gender. We're doing all kinds of stuff with words. And yet it's the ignorance of this. And most people don't know what we're learning here. Most people don't know. And yet look, the people that don't know, boom. It's still wreaking havoc in the world. So ignorance is not going to forgive the rule of law of evil speech. It still has the effects. They do not change. Knowing the rules helps one not convince himself it is permissible. The fact that we are now learning, okay, this is how important it is. This is where it relates into the scripture. This is serious stuff here. The fact that we are learning this, we are telling ourselves, I cannot give myself permission to speak this anymore. It's wrong. I can't allow myself the freedom to speak against somebody when I don't have all the facts. And even if I do have the facts, I still can't speak against evil on them or against them because I don't want to damage somebody else's view of them. What if they change? We've talked about this several times. The thing now is give a rating to a business. Give a rating to a business. And we judge a business or a product based upon the rating somebody gave it. Well, okay. What if it was just a bad day? Somebody was having a bad day. You gonna give them a 1 star? Everybody has a bad day. Do you have a bad day? Yes, you do. I do. We all do. But yet we could run a whole business by judging them on 1 bad day. Well, it was twice I went. Okay. Sometimes we have bad days in a row. Sometimes we have bad years in a row. You know, your part came defective. Okay. Was everybody's part defective? Opinions are not always truth. They're just opinions. You don't judge people by opinions. You judge people by truth. What is the truth of this matter? And even if you know the truth, you don't always have to speak the truth. Okay? But knowing the rules helps us slow our speech down. This takes us to the third condition about with regard to gossip, okay? Or the regard to speaking about somebody, let's say it that way. The exception may be more common than the rule, meaning when an individual has already harmed someone or is about to harm someone, one should not enter into a discussion with him concerning the matter if this could make it more difficult for the victim to protect himself or attain restitution. In other situations, a rebuke toward the perpetrator is a prerequisite for relating the evil speech for a constructive purpose. In other words, let me put it to you this way. When we see somebody speaking evil and causing harm, sometimes it's best to wait for the rebuke. You've heard it say a soft answer turns away wrath. Well, because sometimes we have a tendency to want to speak right then and there on a situation. All we're going to do is aggravate the situation even more. Sometimes in some situations, it's good just to pull that person aside after the situation comes down and say, look, let me talk to you about something. You shouldn't have done that, and here's why. You know, there's a time for everything. And some people think in the heat of the moment they have the right, and they give themselves permission to speak evil. And so they think they have the right to do it, and they ain't going to listen to what you have to say. They ain't going to listen to what anybody has to say. So sometimes it's just best to pull somebody away from the situation, let them calm down, and then they'll listen to what you have to say, because the whole premise of the rebuke is to change that person, not to inflame the situation. Okay? So what do we learn? There's a time to rebuke somebody. The other thing we learned is that you can't give yourself permission to speak evil. Okay? Hey, we'll see you next time on The Essence of Man, the Power of Speech. Have a good one.